Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be why she says she has a lot on her plate and can't focus on her relationship as much. Well, this particular email is from a guy. He got dumped by his ex-girlfriend of 4.5 years. Obviously, she's got a lot on her plate. But there were some problems in the relationship. He said she was kind of displaying some disloyal behavior. She's kind of giving the green light to other guys to slide into her DMs. She'll follow other guys back on social media, things of that nature. But you can tell overall he's pursuing too much. He cares too much. He's too much into her, regardless of what's going on with these other dudes. But it's not looking good as far as what she did with inviting attention from other men as far as her character. And remember, character is destiny. And so no matter what happens with her, he is a man, if he wants to keep, whether it's her or a future woman in the future, attracted, he's going to stop caring too much, or at least communicating that he cares too much, or that he's way more into the girl than the girl is into him. Because you can clearly see that from the email that she's got all the power and he gave it all to her. And plus he's chasing, he's smothering. He mentions there were times where he was begging. So he's displaying a lot of unattractive behavior that he's going to need to clean up. And that's part of what we're going to talk about here. And then we're going to obviously look and see, is this relationship even salvageable if she comes back? Does she look like she's somebody that would be loyal and faithful? Or does it look like somebody, when she's unhappy, she's going to be giving other men the green light to try to seduce her? So he says, "Hi, Corey. Recently, my ex broke up with me after 4.5 years, and I didn't want to break up, but more so work on our issues. Well, it takes two to tango, and if only one of you wants to tango, well, you don't have a tango partner. But she felt it just wasn't worth it anymore, and the typical, I have a lot on my plate, and I can't focus on the relationship as much. I don't want to waste your time." Basically what she's saying is, I have low interest in you. You've made my pussy drier than the Sahara Desert, and I'm not interested. That's what she's really saying. She's lost interest, she's lost attraction, she's lost respect, and she wants out. That's the bottom line. And so when a woman says things like that, that is in other words, he's made her feel like she's being smothered. He's calling too much, he's texting too much, he's pursuing too much. Obviously, he's probably in a state of fear because he's wondering what's going on with these other dudes and your social media. So there's a lot of bad things going on here that are not helping his case. And hers, for that matter, from an integrity perspective. He says, we've had some revolving issues that popped up that maybe we never communicated enough properly, although my mindset was that, sure, there are problems, but I won't give up on solving them. We had communication issues, not always. Little things were easier to solve at times because we would get mad at each other, and she would close up, and she could be stubborn at times and almost grow an ego power trip if it seems like I'm begging. So if you're begging, what that tells me is you're trying to get her attention, you're trying to get her to talk to you, and it sounds like, as he says, she closes up. So she's probably a stonewaller. And it's very hard to work out things in a relationship of any kind when the other person's like, I'm going to give you the silent treatment, or I'm going to tell you that nothing's wrong, or I'm going to ignore you for a few days and let you know that I'm big time mad at you. And when I think you've suffered enough, then we can talk. That's not healthy. That's not loving. I mean, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you're living with them, maybe you're married, maybe you have a family, the last thing you want to do is be in a relationship with somebody that when they get mad at you, they just hit the pause button for 3 or 4 days, and now you're in limbo. You're getting up, you're going to work, and you're getting a silent treatment from your supposed teammate. I'm going to punish you and make you suffer, and until I feel like you suffered enough, then we can talk. 1 or 2 times, you can get past it, but when it's like a weekly or an every other week type of occurrence, that shit's going to wear you out, and guys that have choice eventually will be like, hit the bricks, honey. I'm out of here. You're just not going to put up with it. But guys that are in a scarcity mindset, guys that don't understand what's in 3% man, they're going to be worried that they're never going to find anybody else. So they'll sit and stay in a relationship like this where they're being abused and put up with it and make excuses for the girl. And in this case, over pursue and chase, probably be a little controlling because he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on with these other potential dudes here. He says, my issue was that she was being too friendly with other guys who she didn't really entirely know. She was responding to messages or even accepting friend requests and follow requests on apps. And I didn't like that. Well, that's understandable because what it really shows is if a normal, healthy, loyal woman is going to say, hey, thanks, appreciate the interest, but I have a boyfriend. Hey, thanks, sorry, but I'm married. Hey, I can't, I'm seeing somebody. But when she supposedly has a boyfriend of 4.5 years, 4.5 years together, and she's basically given guys the green light to try to seduce her, it's clear from her actions that she believes she's a free agent or an impending free agent. And so she's testing free agency. She's testing the waters to see what other kind of offers she's going to get. And if you've been with somebody for 4.5 years and they're doing that to you, that's not loyalty. That shows that they're heading for the exits. And if you stay with somebody like that, or you take them back after these things have happened, then what you've just told them and communicated, you've enabled their behavior. You basically said, hey, that's okay. I'll stick around even if you're rubbing other men in my face. That's what's really going on. And if you do that, you're obviously going to be a chump. And you deserve to be called a simp. Because when you allow her to get away with that, well, when she's not happy next time around, and it'll happen eventually, you're together long enough, you get lazy, you get complacent, you get caught up in life, your business, your career, whatever, and you'll go back to not dating and courting her properly, not making her feel heard and understood. And then when she feels like her attraction is not there, then she goes right back to giving the green light to other guys that know her to slide into her DMs. And so right there, that paragraph shows that's not the behavior of somebody who's loyal. That's the behavior of a woman who, in her mind, she's single or about to be single. And so this is totally okay with her. And what's the number one most important thing to men in a relationship? It's loyalty. You want to know that the girl is loyal to you. And she says that I haven't done the little things as much that matter and gave her my full attention and affection at times. So she says it made her take the attention or take in the attention from others naturally, even though it didn't seem like she was flirty back. But guys might be having other motives. Yeah, the only reason these guys are sliding into her DMs is because they want to slide into her panties. And the fact that she's corresponding with them and accepting friend requests, she's communicating that she potentially is going to be available or is coming available or is available. And if you're having problems in your relationship and your girlfriend or your wife is signaling to men outside the relationship that, yay, yoo-hoo, I'm going to be single soon, or I am single. Go for it, big boy. Shoot your shot. That's not what you want to see. That shows you're trying to work things out, and she's trying to look for your replacement. So he says, I've been working on starting up a business, working my 9-to-5 job with the vision in mind to make a life better for us, but I feel she just wants more of the day-to-day attention and affection. Well, it's true. If you don't date your girlfriend or your wife, eventually some other guy will. And it's clear that she's definitely in the beginning stages at least, or maybe even further along than you realize with other men. So she, in her mind, she's not trying to be loyal to you. And when you see that, it's like, why would you really want to stick around? Because if you take her back or you give her another chance, and then things go, 6 months, a year down the road, you get the same thing, you get lazy, you get complacent, she'll just go right back to doing that all over again. Because you already told her it was okay because you stayed with her. He says, I'll admit my wrongdoings and have understood I can be better in different areas that I lacked in. And I want a future with her and even saw myself marrying her in the near future before the breakup, of course. Well, when you see that kind of disloyal behavior, inviting attention from other men, and then you're going, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about marrying her. In your mind, you're going, I'm thinking about marrying this girl, and she's thinking about who she's going to replace you with. It's like, hello, have some self-respect, dude. She's reached out after our official breakup, just asking to call me and talk to me again, but it didn't end up happening. I then called her the next day, although I didn't agree with her wrongdoings. I told her I admitted that I could have focused on her more and done more of the little things and accepted my issue and lack of effort there. Well, if she reaches out and she wants to talk and then she doesn't actually follow through on it, you shouldn't be calling her the next day. She's already pushed you away. And you should give women the space and the time to follow through on their plans and their commitments, or to flake out and disappear from your life forever. And so once again, a big issue here, whether you fix it with her or if you don't fix it with her, you're gonna have the same problems with the next girls. It's like, so what it looks like is she's like, hey, I want to call you and talk to you. And of course, she doesn't reach out that day. And instead of you waiting to hear from her after she's disrespected you and broken it off with you and unilaterally ended your relationship, you start chasing her and you start pursuing her, which is obviously what causes a woman to feel smothered and say things like what she said, which was she's got a lot on her plate and can't focus on the relationship as much. So even after she's dumped you, you're continuing to run after her. And this is just totally unattractive behavior. And any woman's going to get turned off by that. Dating's like tennis. You hit the ball over the net, you got to wait for her to hit it back. And you're not waiting. And it doesn't look like you have waited. And you've been like a needy little girl the whole relationship. And therefore, she doesn't respect you, and she has low attraction for you. And on top of that, she's inviting attention from other men. So he says 3 to 4 days after the breakup and starting the no contact rule, I unfollowed her and took her away from following me, and she's been consistent to view my Instagram stories. Even her manipulative friend, who isn't a fan of mine, still follows me and watches my stuff. Well, that shows she's still concerned, she's still interested. And if she's breaking things off, it's obvious she's probably exploring things with these other dudes. So at this point, you're just kind of like a backup plan, and you're one of the guys she's talking to. Is there any hope of getting her back? Well, it's like, why would you want her back after that? I mean, she's been disloyal, and you found out about it. And even though he says she wasn't flirty, the bottom line is she's still giving these guys the green light to slide into her DMs. She's still following these guys back. So those are the actions of a woman who's looking for somebody else. She's not trying to repair your relationship. She's trying to find the next guy. In essence, monkey branch from you. Kind of keep her finger in the water with you a little bit, stir the pot a little bit, give you just enough to keep you on the hook and keep you hoping that there's maybe a way to salvage it. Meanwhile, she explores things with somebody else. And if she finds a guy that measures up, then she's going to dip from you to him and start sleeping with him, even though she might still be kind of dangling the carrot to you until she's completely 100% in with a new guy. And once she's 100% in with a new guy, then she'll really dip. She'll really disappear from your life. That's why you look at what somebody does, not what they say. Does her persistent viewing of my stories 3 to 4 days after our breakup mean anything? It just means she's keeping tabs on you, trying to find out what you're up to. And the best thing you can do is recognize what's happened. She's been disloyal, and she's probably spending her time with one of these guys or several of these guys that have slid into her DMs, and she's spending time with your potential replacement. So in other words, she got a little practice squad going. So, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So you should have your own, or you should form your own practice squad. And she could be one of those players that's on the bubble, so to speak. You don't call, you don't text for any reason. You look at the disloyal behavior. She reached out. She never really talked about anything. I mean, at the end of the day, you should be following what's in 7 Principles to Get an Ex Back, not trying to have serious conversations over the phone or in person. Your job in the courtship is just to create an opportunity for sex to happen. Hang out and have fun, hook up. That's it. So if she reaches out in the future, assume she wants to see you, you invite her to dinner, you don't go meet her out, you don't pick her up, you don't go to coffee dates, you don't go to lunch dates, you don't meet on neutral ground, you don't go and do group dates where it's a bunch of friends and people that you know there, because when you do that, you're acquiescing to platonic relationship, platonic friendship. And what women that are behaving this way will do is they'll keep you in their orbit as kind of a backup plan while they spend most of their time with their primary new guy. And if the new guy has his shit together, she's going to bounce to him and eventually just blow you off. But there are also women that'll keep stringing you along even though they're in a new relationship with somebody else because they like the attention and validation. I suspect that's the kind of woman that she is, that she's always got other dudes, and it sounds like it's been going on for some time. So this is who she is. Do you really want to take somebody back who behaves this way? As soon as you slack off again and stop dating and courting her properly and don't communicate with her as much, she's going to be back in the DMs of these other guys and inviting them to slide into her DMs. That's not the actions of somebody that's going to be loyal and faithful to you. That's somebody that doesn't respect you and doesn't value you, and they have the attitude that they can replace you. Well, hey, like the Tom Petty song, "Good Love is Hard to Find." Hey, if you think you can do better than me, then go. If I don't take you all the way, then go. Go on down the road. But based on her actions, I wouldn't be giving this chick another chance. She would just be a potential sex playmate, friends of benefits, if you're wanting to do that. But I would definitely wear a condom. I wouldn't be raw dogging it with this girl anymore. He says, can I use this to my benefit? Is it okay that my Instagram page is public and she can view it? Yeah, it's like, who cares? She could be one of your fans. Instead of block her and make it private, almost like passive aggressive. Well, just leave it. Who cares? You don't follow her. She doesn't follow you. I mean, she is manually following you. So let her have that. Let her be. She can be one of your fans. But I would never call or text her again for any reason. And if you're crazy enough to want to get back together and hook up again, I would wear a raincoat. But you should be following the script that's in 7 Principles to Get an Ex Back. But, you know, this is like the behavior from her. It's the proverbial turd in the punch bowl. It's like, yeah, you can fish the turd out, but some of what was in the turd is going to be now in the punch. Do you really want to drink the punch? It's like, no, because it's fucking tainted. So what do? You dump it out, and you get a fresh bowl, and you make some new punch with another girl or girls if you're going to have a rotation. Because it's clear she's working on a rotation, so you might as well be doing the same thing because her actions communicate that that's what she's doing. And at the end of the day, as a man, you're the prize, you're the catch. She should be the one trying to win you over, but you're in the mindset of how do I get her attention? How do I get her to pay attention and want to spend time with me? And that's very feminine. That's not masculine energy. Your attitude should be like, hey, this chick hasn't been loyal. She did me dirty. And even though I might be open to hooking up with her again, I'm certainly not going to get back into a relationship with her. She can be one of the girls that I hook up with. And then when I find a girl I really like and want to be with, I'm like, hey, I can't see you anymore. I met somebody else. Wish y'all the best. So if you got a question or challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.